It's up to you.
It's up to me to be the best that we can be. Move your tail and shake a fin. Give me 5 to the Rocfish jive. Jump left, jump right, just give me sight. Let's rock this town and smash it all around. Jump left, jump right, just give me sight. Let's rock this town and splash his love around. If you want to live the life you'll be as special like the Bible tells me. Life in Jesus is a high, he'll help you reach the sky, just have to ask him.
It's up to you.
It's up to me to be the best that we can be. Move your tail and shake a fin. Give me 5 to the Rocfish jive. Jump left, jump right, just give me sight. Let's rock this town and smash his love around. Jump left, jump right, just give me sight. Let's rock this town and smash his love around. Let's rock this town and smash his love around. Let's rock this town and smash his love around.
Hi kids, I'm Emily and we're so glad you could join us.
I'm Joey, and we're going to have the best time.
And I'm Bree, and have we got a story for you?
Have you ever had a problem that is so big?
That you just wanted to run away and hide.
Well, we know someone who felt just like that.
Listen up, and we'll tell you all about it.
You see, God had a very important job to do. And when he looked down from heaven, he knew just the right person to do it.
Yeah, I know who he was. He had a really cool name, sort of like Joey.
You mean Jonah?
Yeah, whatever. Anyway, God had this very important job for Jonah to do, but he just didn't think that he was the man for it.
Personally, I think he was way scared.
What was this scary job?
Well, all he had to do was to cruise over to a city called Nineveh and tell them all that they're doing bad and silly things, and that they were so not doing what God wanted them to do.
You mean Jonah had to talk to everyone in the whole city and tell them they were being bad?
Yes, everyone, even the king.
No wonder he was scared. I would be too.
Jonah, he had a call from God. Jonah, you're my man. Now listen to me, go pack your bags and run down to Nineveh land. Jonah, he got very scared. He didn't know what to say. Nineveh was a very bad place, so he ran the other way. Jonah, Jonah, what's your plan? Don't be scared, just take my hand. Jonah, Jonah, you're the one. Stick with me and we'll have some fun. Jonah, he thought that sounds odd. Maybe it's just a joke. I'm sure that God has got it wrong, 'cause I'm just an ordinary bloke. Jonah, Jonah, what's your plan? Don't be scared, just take my hand. Jonah, Jonah, you're the one. Stick with me and we'll have some fun. Stick with me and we'll have some fun.
So, did he go to Nineveh?
No, he didn't. Instead, he went and did something really dumb.
Yeah, really dumb. He ran away and tried to hide from God. Like, how dumb is that?
He didn't.
In fact, he tried to run away from God as far as he could by getting on a boat and sailing the other way.
Yojo, you can run, but you can't hide.
Once Jonah was on the boat, he felt pretty sure that he could forget about Nineveh and God. He thought he was way cool.
But he wasn't.
But he must have felt bad, like when you've done something you know you shouldn't do, right?
No, not at all. In fact, as soon as the boat got sailing, Jonah went to his cabin, lay down on his bed, and fell fast asleep.
I guess he was tired from all that running.
That's right. But he hadn't run far enough to hide from God, and he was about to be found.
The boat hadn't been sailing very long when a storm blew up. There were very strong waves and huge winds, and the boat was getting tossed from side to side. As the waves came towards it, the boat would climb to the top. But then, when it got to the top, there was nowhere else for it to go, so the boat would just fall down, crashing very hard and fast.
The sailors and passengers were packing it. They had to grab onto anything they could, or the waves would smash them. They were shouting at each other, trying to figure out what to do. Some were screaming, and some were kind of brave, but all of them thought that they were going to die.
What did Jonah do?
Jonah? He was still asleep.
That's amazing. How could he sleep through such a terrible storm?
That's exactly what the sailors wanted to know. They were so scared the boat was going to sink that they started throwing everything they had overboard. Up and down the stairs they would go, carrying all their cargo and tossing it into the sea. And every time they passed Jonah's cabin, there they saw him, sound asleep.
This made the crew very angry because Jonah wasn't doing anything to help. So one of the sailors woke Jonah up. He was massive and he wasn't very happy. So when Jonah got woken, he got a big fright.
Wake up, dream boy. You've got company.
So Jonah must have been twice as scared of the sailor and then the storm.
Well, as a matter of fact, Jonah wasn't scared at all because he knew how to stop the storm.
How could Jonah stop the storm?
Well, he knew that the storm was really all his fault. It was really a reminder from God to tell him that he still had an important job to do. All he had to do was to convince the sailors that the storm would stop if they got rid of him.
Throw me overboard, not your cargo, he told them. I've been trying to run away from God, and this storm is him telling me to go back and work for him. Then the sailors were even more afraid because they knew that if they threw Jonah off the boat, he would drown. They also knew that if the storm did not stop, they were all going to die. Jonah just kept telling them that he was the problem and that he had to go. Here I am sailing, I'm in a boat. Here I am sailing, I hope it stays afloat. Will I go to Nineveh? I certainly won't. Life is good for me. Wind in my hair, I love the sea. Fish and whales looking up at me. Let's try to count them. 1, 2, 3. Life is good for me. Let's all clap our hands. Wiggle our hips as we stand. Jump in the air if you can. Sailing to another land. It's getting really dark, the wind starts to blow. But I'm not worried, I know it will go. Rain starts falling, waves start to grow. Is life good for me? I'm so worried, the storm's very bad. The waves and the thunder, I'm really, really scared. I need God's help, but I know I've made him sad. Life's not good for me. Let's all clap our hands. Wiggle our hips as we stand. Jump in the air if you can. Sailing to another land. could it be? Life's so bad for me. Pick me up, take me to the top. You'll have to throw me in if you want it to stop.
Close your eyes, get ready for the drop. Heave ho! 1, 2, 3.
Finally, as the storm raged and the waves grew bigger, the sailors decided they'd better start listening to Jonah. So even though they didn't want to, they picked him up and they threw him into the sea.
Oh no, do you mean that's the end of the story of Jonah?
Oh no, just the end of the storm. Because as soon as Jonah hit the water, the storm stopped and the sea became peaceful and calm. But as the sailors looked out to see what had happened to Jonah, they saw this great big fish swim up to Jonah and swallow him in one big gulp. And now the sailors were really sad because they knew there was nothing they could do. And so off they sailed, thinking that Jonah was dead.
Aha! A slimy ending for a slimy character. Personally, I would have taken the boat ride to Nineveh.
But they were wrong, because God had sent this big fish to rescue Jonah. It didn't bite him or chew him. It just swallowed him whole. And there was Jonah in the belly of a big fish with nothing to do but think.
Where am I going? What am I doing? Last thing I knew, I was asleep on a ship. It's getting dark and oh so weary. The smell in here's enough to make me sick. Slipping and a sliding, sloshing and a sliming in the belly of a whale. Heaving and a jeeving, snuffling and a sneezing in the belly of a whale. Why am I here? It's so unfair. You'd think a prophet would deserve more than this. Fish, bone and slime, feeling seasick all the time. To be in Nineveh would be just bliss. Slipping and a sliding, sloshing and a sliming in the belly of a whale. Heaving and a jeeving, snuffling and a sneezing in the belly of a whale. Slipping and a sliding, sloshing and a sliming in the belly of a whale. Heaving and a jeeving, snuffling and a sneezing in the belly of a whale. In the belly of a whale. In the belly of a whale.
Yuck! After 3 days and 3 nights of being in that big fish's belly, Jonah started to get pretty sick and tired of salty water and the smell of dead fish. He'd done some pretty serious talking to God and decided that it was time for him to get out and go to Nineveh. That's when he started to feel that big fish's tummy start to rumble and to grumble. Jonah was beginning to get tossed from side to side, up and down, all around, and then suddenly he went flying out of that big fish's belly and landed flat on the sandy beach. Very smelly, but all in one piece.
Yuck! What's that disgusting smell? Oh, pardon me, Jonah. I didn't see you there under all that slime.
Well, it wasn't just any beach you landed on, was it, guys?
No, God still had that very important job for Jonah to do. So he asked the big fish, take him right to Nineveh.
That's like, wow.
Jonah got down on his knees and said, thank you, God, for saving me. Nineveh, Nineveh, the big city, is where I want to be.
I'm gonna run and skip, wave my hands, jump and stomp, wave my hands, turn around and wave my hands. Listen to God, yeah, that's the plan. I'm gonna run and skip, wave my hands, jump and stomp, wave my hands, turn around and wave my hands. I'm going down to Nineveh land.
Feeling good, but I only wish I didn't get swallowed by the big, big fish. My body was going swish, 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 back and forth in a twist.
I'm gonna run and skip, wave my hands, jump and stomp, wave my hands, turn around and wave my hands. Listen to God, yeah, that's the plan. I'm gonna run and skip, wave my hands, jump and stomp, wave my hands, turn around and wave my hands. I'm going down to Nineveh land.
I'm gonna do what God said, 'cause he's with me and I'm not scared. Must have had rocks in my head, doing what I wanted instead.
I'm gonna run and skip, wave my hands, jump and stomp, wave my hands, turn around and wave my hands. Listen to God, yeah, that's the plan. I'm gonna run and skip, wave my hands, jump and stomp, wave my hands, turn around and wave my hands. I'm going down to Nineveh land. Turn around and wave my hands. I'm going down to Nineveh land.
So, off went Jonah to Nineveh. He was still a bit scared, but he knew that God was with him.
So did he tell all the people of Nineveh that they were doing bad and silly things, and then it was time they started listening to God?
Yes, and to Jonah's surprise, everyone listened, even the king. And pretty soon they were all living God's way.
So everyone was happy?
They sure were, especially God, who'd given the people of Nineveh
And Jonah
a second chance.
Well, what do you know? Our main man Joe has come through after all. Yay, let's party!
Come on, let's party, let's celebrate. With God in our lives, it's gonna be great. Jonah thought we wouldn't listen, but he was wrong. Now we are singing this happy song. We are the children of God, and it's really good. We're doing things right now the way that we should. So come on and join us, we'll sing and we'll dance. 'Cause God has given us a second chance. Come on, let's party, let's celebrate. God is good, and He's my mate. With God to help us, we are strong. Now we are singing this happy song. We are the children of God, and it's really good. We're doing things right now the way that we should. So come on and join us, we'll sing and we'll dance. 'Cause God has given us a second chance.
Here we are at Underwater World, Sunshine Coast, Queensland, with a few of my friends. We're going to check out an exciting world under the sea. So come on, let's go. Okay, Siobhan, what's the best thing that you like about living next to the sea?
Well, you can go to all different rock pools and see all the starfishes
Yeah?
and shells.
Oh, cool. Do you see any cool colours?
Yeah.
All right, guys, what do you think that is? What would you call that?
A
If you
star.
name creatures, what would you call it?
Some weird thing
A what?
in the sea.
Some weird. Don't you think that's pretty long?
Yeah.
Hey kids, do you remember the story about Jonah? What do you think he was doing in the belly of that big fish?
Well, he probably would have prayed a lot and thought heaps about his actions because, I mean, what he did to God was really wrong.
And Stephanie, what do you think Jonah did in a big fish's belly?
Well, he probably would have, like, yelled for help. Well, he probably would have been seasick from all the fish swimming around and around in circles, playing and stuff. Look at his stingray! Wow, look at the stingray! He got a short, big, pointy nose.
Hey kids, do you remember the story of Jonah? Yeah? Do you know how he was in the belly? What do you think he was doing in there?
Just sitting around.
Yeah? What do you think he was doing?
Open, snoring.
I love the beach, feel the golden sand through my toes and in my hands. So much fun for everyone. What a great God to think of that. Create the waves so I can have so much fun for everyone. Get down, splash around in the surf in the sun. Ride a wave all day on the sand, it's alright. Thank you, Lord, for this fun. I love the beach and the waves so high. Grab my board and take a ride. Catch a wave. I'm here to stay. What a great God to think of that. Create the waves so I can splash. So much fun for everyone. Get down, splash around in the surf in the sun. Ride a wave all day on the sand, it's alright. Thank you, Lord, for this one. Go Joey, go Joey, go Joey. Get down, splash around in the surf in the sun. Ride a wave all day on the sand, it's alright. Thank you, Lord, for this one. Thank you, Lord.
We're so glad you could be with us today.
We hope you've had as much fun as we have.
And remember the story of Jonah, because there's no problem too big for God.
You and me can always be happy and free in Jesus. He's our best friend. His love will never end. Come on, let's sing and let's praise Him. We have learned what to do. Just like Jonah, we must follow too.
Jonah and what he went through. Trust and obey, God will always help you. Oh, oh. You and me can always be happy and free in Jesus. He's our best friend, His love will never end. Come on, let's sing and let's praise Him. You and me can always be happy and free in Jesus. He's our best friend, His love will never end. Come on, let's sing and let's praise Him. We're glad that you could join us. Now it's time for us to go. Just before we say goodbye, there's a few things we want you to know. Don't give up when you're down and you're all alone. God's with you, He'll never leave you on your own. Just turn to Him when you don't know what to do. 'Cause He's my friend, and I know He'll be yours too.
Some days you will have problems,
No matter what you try to do,
treated unfair, kept in at school.
your best friend's not talking to